Hey guys, if you're a regular for my channel, then you know that we've come across some deals and we buy them up and we hoard away some of these cars. Well, we found an 81 Corvette uh, earlier this week and we took a chance on it, and this thing, we got it home and checked it out, and let me just show you what we found. Alright, so it's an 81 Corvette and I found it on Facebook Marketplace, and it was a cheap enough deal that I sent my dad to go look at it because I was at work, and he went and checked it out. It's a pretty solid car as far as no rust underneath, and then of course the fiberglass body's in pretty good shape. The paint's starting to come apart, but it was a car that we were pretty confident would be a pretty easy seller for us. Inside is bright red, and somebody has redone the seats in cloth and they look pretty good. Most of the interior is decent. Carpet's faded and stuff like that, but overall this is a really good interior for one of these cars. Some of these things are pretty normal for this model of Corvette. These armrests, that is typical. So that kind of stuff really didn't worry us, and just the fact that everything in here is complete was a good sign that this was a decent car. One thing we always look at on these cars is the door handles, because these door handles will eventually fall down and won't spring back up, and eventually will stop working altogether. But these are nice and flat. They open really good. The doors close good. Pretty happy with that part of it. We also always check to make sure, because these windows are really bad about getting real loose. This car is nice and tight. So again, under the hood, all very complete. Still got the original air conditioning. Pretty much everything is original under here. We did notice that it has an Edelbrock 4-barrel carburetor on it and a set of headers. It looks like somebody has replaced the distributor cap and plug wires recently, but the rest of it looks to be original and in really good shape. So here's where the gamble came into play. This car was bought as a non-running car. The previous owner told us that he thought it might be the battery or the starter, because all it would do was click when he turned the key. And you know, it's kind of a gamble, but we just kind of took his word for it and brought it home, put the battery charger on it, and tried to crank it again, and it clicked, but it clicked much faster. So we assumed it was a starter issue, but there's always a kind of a fear in the back of your mind that the motor could be stuck. So we put a breaker bar on it and tried to turn the engine over by hand, and this thing was locked up tight. So we don't know exactly what's going on in there, but we know that it's not good, and that you know, this deal will not be quite as profitable as we hoped. But we're still in the car cheap enough to you know, probably get our money back. You know, of course we could put a motor in it and make some decent money, but of course that's also a lot of time, a lot of effort, and you know, I don't know that it's really worth it, or if I'll actually have time to fool with it. So for now, I was just going to show you guys this and show you that this happens to the best of them. My dad has a pretty good record as far as buying cars and selling cars and making good deals, but this one was a little bit of a flop. I don't think the guy was trying to scam us or anything. I mean, maybe it was just an honest mistake, or maybe he just didn't know. Hard to say at this point, but you know, I feel like we still got a decent deal on the car. It is disappointing because we could have made some pretty good money pretty quick if this thing just needed a starter or a good fresh battery. But you win some, you lose some, and we lost a little bit on this one.